The difference between rich and poor people isn't money. It isn't intelligence. It isn't even opportunity, at least not entirely. It's a specific way of thinking about time, risk, and ownership that nobody teaches you if you grew up without money. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. There's a concept called delayed gratification, and most people think they understand it. They don't, because the research, specifically Walter Mischel's Stanford Marshmallow studies, followed up by a landmark 2018 NYU study, shows something far more uncomfortable than just rich kids are more patient. I'll get to that in a second. Here's the core mindset difference. Wealthy people, and I mean people who built wealth, not inherited it, consistently think in assets, not income. A person thinking in income asks, how much do I earn this month? A person thinking in assets asks, what do I own that earns without me? Robert Kiyosaki documented this in Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Thomas Stanley confirmed it across 10,000 millionaire interviews in The Millionaire Next Door. The income mindset trades time for money. The asset mindset builds things that trade on your behalf while you sleep. Now, back to the marshmallow study, because this is where it gets complicated. The original 1972 experiment found that children who waited for a second marshmallow went on to have better life outcomes, higher SAT scores, better health, higher income. The 2018 NYU replication, which used a much larger and more diverse sample, found something that reframed the entire narrative. The children's socioeconomic background predicted the waiting almost entirely. In other words, poor kids didn't wait not because they lacked willpower. They didn't wait because experience had taught them that promises aren't always kept. If you grow up in an environment where resources are unreliable, where adults say they'll be back with more and sometimes aren't, waiting is actually the irrational choice. The marshmallow study wasn't measuring self-control. It was measuring trust in the system. And that changes everything about how we talk about financial mindset, because the wealthy don't just think differently. They think differently because the world behaved toward them differently. Warren Buffett said something about this that I think about constantly. He called it the ovarian lottery. He said, and I'm paraphrasing, that if you were born in the United States, you've already won a lottery just by being here. And if you were born into a stable household in the US, you won again. His point wasn't that success is impossible without those advantages. His point was that the mindset wealthy people have, the long-term thinking, the trust in systems, the asset orientation, is itself partly a product of stability. You can't think long-term when you're managing short-term survival. So what does this actually mean for you? It means the goal isn't to copy the habits of rich people. It's to understand the underlying logic and install it deliberately, even without the safety net they had. 3 specific mindset shifts that research supports. 1. Shift from income to net worth. Track what you own, not just what you earn. 2. Treat every purchase as a trade. You're not spending money, you're trading future assets for present consumption. Make it a conscious choice. 3. Find one system that earns without you. 1. It doesn't have to be big. A side income, a small investment, one automated revenue stream. The asset mindset starts with the first asset, not the 10th. There's one more thing the research shows that almost nobody talks about. A 2019 study in the journal Psychological Science found that wealthy individuals score significantly higher on systems thinking, the ability to see how interconnected parts affect each other over time. This isn't innate, it's learned. And the single fastest way to develop systems thinking is to run something, anything, a small business, a side project, a portfolio of any size. You don't learn to think in systems by reading about systems. You learn by being responsible for one. Nobody taught you this because the people around you didn't know it either. That's not blame. That's just how generational wealth works, in both directions. Wealth transfers through assets, but before assets, it transfers through thinking. The marshmallow isn't the test. The real test is whether you trust the future enough to invest in it. Start building that trust, one asset at a time.